Another weird unit and another great sample sent to us by Sony. Thank you to Sony for sending us this unit. This is the LM01 Amue Link by Sony. This is a GPS LTE enabled module with a speaker and a microphone on it. So I guess you talk into it and say, hey, here I am, or something. We don't really know, but what we do know is that after we unbox this, we're going to download the app and put this in the trunk of our driver's car to see if he actually does go to the post office when he says he does. Let's crack it open and see what's inside. Sony has always sent us not e-paper products in the recent times because, well, Sony still makes e-paper products, but not really anything new. They still have the Fez watch and everything like that, so this is why we put it on the tech channel. Let's look in the box before we continue on this thing, which is a very small module. I definitely could stash this somewhere in the rear spare tire section of the driver's car. We're not going to do that. That is an invasion of privacy. I hope you got the joke. So let's crack this open and see what's inside. Sony loves kind of covering all their bases and more of a liability to give you a ton of documentation. So we have the Amue link, and it does look like they give you a place to download the application, and you get the information on what is what. We'll go into that later, and a warranty card. So all that is pretty typical Sony stuff. Here is the unit. It looks like it has a massive speaker on the top. Oh, that's not even the unit. There it is. It's technically even smaller now. All right, so this thing is so tiny. It's absolutely adorable. Let's get my Sony device out here. This is my Xperia 1 Mark III, and you will see that it is, I don't know, a 1/12 of the actual size of the entire thing. So this is going to be very interesting. You do have USB-C on the bottom. You have a lanyard loop. Man, Sony loves lanyard loops, man. It's absolutely insane. They have those on Japan in general loves those things. They hang little gotcha charms on there and stuff. You do have a volume up and down. There are two buttons, and they can be pressed together or individually, and you have a microphone, USB-C as we said, and a massive speaker grill. And I say massive because it's the entire width of the device. It's the whole thing. It's not just a little tiny circle in the corner. This is the whole thing as a speaker. And I guess this is the power/activation. It looks like it does just blink, and it doesn't really do anything or say any bleeps and bloops from there, but we will have to download the app to continue on. So it looks like it does have us pretty well located in Tokyo, but unfortunately, this thing has a limitation, and that's something that they failed to mention to us when they sent us this, but a lot of the time they just send us products blind. What you have to do is you actually have to pay for this. You can't just use it out of the gates. You have to pay $7 every single month to utilize this. So to track whoever you're going to be tracking, it costs $7.50 every single month, and you have to add a credit card in order to get that done or to proceed any further. So if you're about to think that this is going to replace your AirTags, unfortunately you will be mistaken because this has a monthly fee. You're going to have to pay for this. It works as the initial kind of setup. It opens up the map and everything like that, but really doesn't do anything past that because it cannot connect to the unit, and you cannot track yourself, you can't track your car, you can't track your stolen goods, you can't track your child. It just doesn't work without any sort of payment. This is kind of very close to that Kaneko thing we saw, which actually did have an e-paper screen, whereas this one does not. This unfortunately just falls a little bit short, but either way, let us look at the unit and then we'll wrap things up because, well, that's the most we can actually do. So the unit does, as we said, have a lanyard strap at the back. It is made out of very high quality materials. This is labeled as dustproof, waterproof, and as they say, unbreakable. Apparently, you can't break this. I don't know how true that is, and I don't know to which degree in which they're talking about. I mean, do they mean if I smash it with a 2-pound hammer, it's not going to break? I'm pretty sure it will. It's also completely seamless. It doesn't have a seam, which is probably why it's a complete circle. They just dropped everything from this way and it locks in. There's no access ports at all, so you can't unscrew some Torx access screws or anything like that. The buttons press in very well. There are 3 buttons. There's the volume buttons and the actual trigger button that initiates the thing, but unfortunately things like the microphone and the speaker for two-way communication, which this does have the ability and capability of doing so, we won't be able to do that. So it does look like there is a ton of potential here, and it would have actually been nice that this was a little bit more expensive to buy, and then they may not have to charge you a monthly fee, but because it's so cheap to buy it, and they kind of have to tack on a way to make money. And I get it, manufacturers need ways to make money, but either way, thank you very much to Sony for sending us this, but it falls a little bit short in the intended purposes of what we could possibly use it for. Either way, everyone, thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you next time.